I know I'm a little late for Sunday school this morning, but it was a beautiful, beautiful day. The sun's finally been out. Um, it came out this morning. It's very chilly. I took a nice walk to get my coffee. I lingered a little bit too long at the coffee shop. Anyway, uh, this might get reproduced here. We don't know for sure if the publisher is going to do it. But anyway, this is a funny little, cute little thing that Weiser put out a few years ago. It's sort of a combination of a beautiful little silvery ankh with a substantial little cord to it, and uh, sort of a new agey kind of thing. Okay, and just the guy that they wanted to write a new agey little introduction to. They asked me if I'd like to take part in it, and I wrote a little introduction to it. This morning, Constance said, "Well, it's Sunday, and you call it Sunday school. Why don't you talk about the religion of Thelema?" And I was, it's a good idea, but it's also a pretty in-depth subject, and I talk about it, of course, in the Magic of Aleister Crowley. Here's an old version of it. But there is a wonderful, wonderful kind of step-by-step commentary on the Gnostic Mass, especially the creed of the Gnostic Mass, which sort of defines the Thelemic version of what other religions would call a confession or a statement of faith. And it's included in this Red Flame, Thelemic Research Journal, and the commentary is by Sabazius, the head of the church, and it's wonderful in the U.S. anyway. It is a wonderful dissection of each section of the Gnostic Mass. But to tell you the truth, I didn't want to, even though Constance gave me a good idea, it wasn't really what I was in the mood to do this Sunday morning. So I had received an email from Weiser talking to me about this Ankh project, and so I went back and see what the hell I wrote. What year was this? This is back in 2007. So I thought I'd share that with you this morning. That's why I said Ankh, if you love life. Here's what I said, and they peppered it with cool little halftone illustrations and things like that. I'll try to share those with you as I go along. Are you ready? Because this has to do with the religion of Thelema too. The Ankh is one of the most recognized spiritual symbols in the world. Revered quietly by 19th century esotericists, it burst with psychedelic panache upon the expanding consciousness of the 20th century in the early 1960s. Dangling from the necks of hippies or splashed colorfully upon the sides of misshapen VW microvans, this ancient sacred symbol came to represent in the consciousness of Western civilization all things spiritually free and life-affirming. And you know, the Golden Dawn used kind of a very elaborate, hermetically segmented version of the Ankh, or the Crux Ansata, in in key rituals, initiation rituals, um, literally. And if you look at, well, maybe I'll get into that. Who knows what I did here? I recall stepping into the Los Angeles Free Press bookstore in Los Angeles in the summer of 1966. The Free Press, LA Free Press bookstore was like the Mecca, truly the Mecca of the Southern California psychedelic movement. Okay, it was a combination of head shop, okay, radical pamphlet distributor. The LA Free Press was like the newspaper of liberation in those days, when there was precious little else going on. And when I moved out from Nebraska in the summer of 1966, it's the first place I went to, okay, because they had the hip, at the time, late beatnik literature that I was just in love with, okay? So it's the first place I went. I recall stepping into the LA Free Press bookstore in Los Angeles in the summer of 1966 and seeing this strange cross-like symbol hanging next to peace sign medallions and Sanskrit ohms. I asked the long-haired cashier in a blue work shirt. I was wearing a blue work shirt too. See, all us nonconformists wore blue work shirts. What is this cross? Is it the sign of Venus? Okay, look, just like that. It was hanging, they're selling it with keychains with peace symbols and stuff. Is it the sign of Venus? He snapped back at me. No, man, it's an Ankh. It stands for free love, man. I bought one on the spot. I'd soon learned that the Ankh meant more than free love. Indeed, to the subculture of the 1960s, this looped cross symbolizes the universal forces of goodness and justice, the righteous enemy of institutions and endeavors that bring death and destruction to humanity and our world. Like tie-dyed Van Helsings, we brandish the Ankh before us to repel the Dracula of the evil war establishment of that turbulent era. And we've got, Weiser put some beautiful, see, she's got an Ankh opening the mouth, giving life. Okay. Where was I? If any symbol on earth could hold such power, it is certainly the Ankh. Its antiquity cannot be measured, and no one today can say with certainty what its ultimate origin was. There's little doubt that the instrument by which the ancient Egyptians measured the rise and fall of the Nile, which was vital data for a culture that depended on the seasonal flow of the river, that instrument was shaped like an Ankh. In other words, there was a loop for you to hang on to, and then there was a long stick, and there was the crossbar, and if you let it down far enough to have that crossbar hit the surface of the Nile, the mud at the bottom of the Nile, that you could measure and to see exactly what that was an Ankh. It was probably a great deal, quite a bit longer, but an Ankh nonetheless. Okay. As important as the practical function was, however, the Ankh became profoundly more important as a religious symbol. In Egyptian art, the Ankh is pictured in the hands of the gods and held to the pharaoh's lips as if it were the breath of life itself. Its form, a not so subtle conjunction of the female and male generative organs, evokes the eternal powers of self-regeneration. With its oval head and outstretched arms and slender stalk, it mirrors the human form. Indeed, ornate Ankh-shaped hand mirrors have been found in tombs of the ancient Egyptians, as if to affirm the great truth that the secret of life can only be discovered through self-reflection. The Egyptian word for mirror is Ankh. Some believe the Ankh was the rod of Moses, or actually Aaron's rod, that it was the staff of Hermes and the archetype of the caduceus. It might surprise you to learn that the Ankh is still sacred to Coptic Christians in Egypt, and the crux ansata, the cross with a handle, is the source and inspiration of what most Western mystical symbols call, or most mystical symbols, the rosy cross. The Ankh is the rose cross. Not only that, but T-O in Greek means self, toe. I take that back. I correct myself. Toe. Toe megatherion. The wild beast. Okay. If I could cut that out, I would, but I can't, so I won't. Okay. It should surprise us. It should not surprise us, therefore, that the symbol of the Ankh is not limited to any one religion, or that it can be, and that it cannot be properly defined. Indeed, once a symbol is defined, it ceases to be a symbol and becomes an emblem that crystallizes a narrow idea into dead form. A symbol is alive and ever-changing, and it must remain an eternal mystery. It's a consensus among many modern esotericists that the Ankh was designed to be recognized by the ancient eye as a simple sandal strap. This is my favorite theory, for it suggests to me the secret that life is a journey each of us must take, one step at a time. It's simply a matter of going, a process of voluntary movement, voluntary advancement, voluntary growth, voluntary evolution. A willed commitment to move on, to move up, and become something greater than we are now. What a fitting symbol for the world's most respected and venerable publisher of esoteric literature. I give them a plug, okay? They've been so very good to me over the years. Anyway, that's a Sunday school lesson about the Ankh. When I joined the Rosicrucian Order, Amorc, very early in my formal mystical career, they insisted, don't call it an Ankh, call it a Crux Ansata. But they revered the Ankh very, very much, and it featured prominently in their lessons in literature also. Anyway, that's Sunday school for today. I'm going to bundle up because it may be sunny out there, but it's really, well, I can't complain compared to the weather probably most of you are experiencing at the moment. We'll see you tomorrow. Constance and I have to prepare for Monday night magic class tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow for the order of Monday morning. Until then, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.